Road conditions are starting to get a little bit better in the Fort Smith area. This is what it looked like this afternoon. Sleet in the River Valley has made it a little tougher to clear out, but quite a bit of progress has been made so far, especially on city streets in Fort Smith. The sunshine was a major help today.
As it melts, our road graders are actually able to break up some of that ice as they're going around all the streets right now. And as that ice breaks up, it's easier to go back with another pass and end up scooping it up with a plow. So they're working hard to make sure our roads are clear.
Inc. says the goal is to have a majority of all city streets cleared by the end of the week. Another day of snow sticking around means another day of schools closed tomorrow. Districts across the area, from large to small, have made the decision to cancel classes another day. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us the decision goes way beyond just what the main roads look like.
Most of the districts in our area have called off classes again for Wednesday. That's now 3 snow days in a row. For a lot of students, their commute to school looks like this: pretty clear roads. For other students, their roads look like this, covered in snow and caked in ice. District leaders say they're prioritizing safety. Most students love a snow day. School districts, not so much.
We always want to be in school. A lot of our students won't get a meal if they're not in school. A lot of our students are left home alone when we're out of school.
But when conditions turn dangerous, Rogers Superintendent Jeff Perry says districts have to consider every road their students and staff travel.
We have a dozen areas within our community that normally is a problem. If they are passable and if they are, then most of the time the rest of the town is good to go.
It's not just about getting students to school. It's about making sure they're safe once they arrive.
We have to get all of our parking lots cleared. We have to get all of our sidewalks cleared.
In Fort Smith, district leaders face a similar challenge. This year, the district added a weather committee, giving the superintendent real-time feedback.
We do a check-in at least once a day. Hey, how are the road conditions today?
Fort Smith Public Schools serves about 13,000 students, with thousands relying on bus routes that stretch across the River Valley.
Then it's the staff, it's the cafeteria workers, it's those that have to be on their job very early in the morning when the sun hasn't quite come up yet and the ice hasn't melted.
District leaders say it's a balancing act and takes navigating icy decisions to protect students and staff.
Making sure that everyone is safe is the number one priority.
Covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Well, the storm may be gone, but the impact not over just yet. The bad weather has forced the cancellation of a number of local blood drives, and that has caused an emergency appeal for blood donors. 5 News reporter Jada Daniels in the studio now to tell us it is really having an impact on hospitals and patients. Jada?
Yeah, Darren, dozens of canceled blood drives have wiped out dozens of donations. And our Blood Institute in Fort Smith says life-saving supplies like platelets and O-negative blood are critically low.
January marks National Blood Donors Month, and while donations picked up for the first half, Danny Cervantes, executive director, says this winter weather has put them even farther behind.
It's been like this for about 2 months now. We've been up and down and trying to get enough O negative, and just right when we get a good amount of blood, it just goes out the door quicker than we can collect it. So it's been a problem, ongoing issue for about two months now, and this storm, the last 4 days, no blood coming in the door, really hurt us.
Cervantes says nearly 40% of supply comes from blood drives at high schools and colleges. And with schools and universities closed, that shortage continues to grow larger.
About 5 schools so far during this, which hurt us very badly. Tomorrow we had 2 schools that were going to go and they canceled on us. So we're going to be looking at rescheduling those. So now the only choice we have is to come out to things like this and set up emergency blood drives.
The Institute hosts about 70 drives locally per month, not including those in the main center in Fort Smith. But with these icy conditions, Cervantes says Not only have they had to go on an official appeal, but also set up emergency blood drives.
We were hoping for a handful. When you don't have very much time to promote a blood drive, it's kind of hard to get people to come out here. So we literally set this up at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're out here by noon. And we saw about 10 people come through today, which is tremendous compared to what we've seen the last 3 days. So.
Yeah, and as roads clear up, Cervantes says he's hoping numbers will increase by the weekend, and he's encouraging everyone who can to donate. Jada Daniels, 5 News.
All right, Jada, thanks. Fort Smith City directors talking about asking the Attorney General to investigate the cost of installing those new slides at Parrot Island. In its study session tonight, a few of the directors said they believe the company the city bought the slides from failed to make it clear how much it would cost to get them installed. But City Attorney Colby Rowe told the board asking the Attorney General to investigate is not that simple.
Whatever this board does, if it makes some request to the Attorney General to look into something, to investigate something, the Attorney General is going to determine, it's going to have to ask itself and make a determination, does it have jurisdiction to look into that issue? And that's something its office will have to decide. It's not for our consideration, it's the Attorney General's office. So, I don't know what the answer to that is until we know exactly what may be posed to the Attorney General's office.
Board did decide to hold off for a while before asking the AG to investigate. Directors did place on next week's voting agenda a plan to hire a third-party CPA firm to conduct a full audit on the park's finances. Public Service Commission approved a new rate increase for SWEPCO customers, and now some electricity bills are going to go up. SWEPCO says the average residential customer will see their bill go up about $17.50 a month. You may remember Northwest Arkansas residents spoke out against the hike at a December public comment meeting, saying they're worried it will pay for the Flint Creek coal plant in Benton County. They say that plant is outdated, and the environment group Sierra Club says they want cheaper and cleaner energy options.
That was our main role in this case, was pointing out concern around the spending at the Flint Creek power plant, which I would argue, and we have argued, was not justified by SWEPCO's economic evaluation.
SWEPCO says it is trying to retire that plant by 2038. They say the rate increase will help pay for upgrades to the power grid and new renewable energy projects. That increase, by the way, goes into effect in the next month's billing cycle. Despite some city offices being closed, early voting for the District 26 Arkansas Senate Republican runoff began today. Early voting will continue for a week until Election Day next Tuesday. 2 candidates are on the ballot, Wade Dunn and Brad Simon. Whoever wins will face independent Adam Watson in the March election. You can see the voter locations there on your screen in the 4 counties represented in the district. You can also find more information about this on our website at 5newsonline.com. We've been telling you about an unprecedented policy that was taking shape at Arkansas state prisons. Books and magazines can no longer be sent directly to inmates, but the starting date on that policy has now been pushed back. It's unclear when it will now go into effect. They say an administrative rule is preventing the policy from going into effect at the start of this month. Board of Corrections Rand Champion says it'll have to go through more steps before prisons can start this policy.
So it will have to go through legislative review. It will have to go through a public comment period. It will have to go, I'm from the governor's office. So there's a lot of steps to get that through. So because that, I don't really have a timeline as to how long that will take. We'll probably go before the Board of Corrections again at a future meeting. I think that's probably the first step, is for them to approve it, to go through this process, to start the administrative rule.
Board of Corrections says it wants to stop an uptick in books being sent in with synthetic drugs. Now, the policy has been criticized by some advocates for being too restrictive. BOC claims it does not outright ban books. It only limits how they can be sent in. 3 weeks after the firing of the city's police chief, Hartford Mayor Alan Tabor says a new top cop has taken the helm. Mayor says Mark James began that position yesterday, previously served as the chief in Webbers Falls, Oklahoma. Former Chief Kelly Perez was terminated from her position on January 5th. Still don't know why 22 days later.